We're here back on Watatake Kage episode 70. I mean, Salient Points number 70 for May 31st, 2022. I hope you guys like that in the rundown. I have 2021, but that's fine. We can move past that. I'm Carlos Macias, your host of this here fine program. And as per usual, we got Dalan Kirkwood up in the mountains. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Yes, you're welcome, Suki Kage.
Oh, damn. I don't even know what that means, man. You see, I'm past my level of understanding here, so I don't even know what you're saying, man. So let's keep it clean, Dalan. Let's keep it clean, please, for the people out there.
Fine, you can be the Hokage of this episode. How about that?
I don't know what that means, man. I hope it's
you
a good
don't know
thing,
what a Hokage is.
I hope it's a good thing. And then we also got Luis Mendez on the wheels of steel. Thank you for joining us again, sir.
70 episodes in, you put in the wrong year?
Yeah, I mean, look. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? I haven't. There was this one podcast I used to listen to called Rebel FM, and I think they used to they would always get comments on their podcast saying like, I don't know what episode we're on. Like the guy never knew. He never knew what episode he was on. So he's my inspiration. What's this guy's name? I should look him up. But yeah,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, we won't worry about it. But yeah, he would always get the dates and the episodes wrong, and people would shit on them. They would kind of talk crap about him. But the good thing is we got good listeners. We got good commenters out there, and they're not talking crap about us for the most part, I think. But we did get some comments, and as you guys can do as well on YouTube, youtube.com. We got comms.com, all that stuff. You can find us on there and comment, and we'll throw you in here in the show. The first one we got is a comment from Jet. He says, Detective Pikachu be all like, you like darkness? We shall play in the shadow realm. I don't even know how to respond to this, so I don't even know what this is. Jet, thank you for your comment and subscribing and all that.
What the hell are you talking
but
about?
So I'm hoping. Look, our resident Pokemon expert is Luis. So, Luis, can you help us a little bit here? What's this guy talking about?
Yeah, thanks for throwing the Pokemon reference out there. But you're actually talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Out here. This is a completely different show.
Okay. Oh, snaps.
Come on, Jed. Come on, Jed. You're not going to get that one past
A nice little fun little side story.
He's
to
probably
Shadow
doing it
Realm
on purpose then.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. I thought most people knew about Yu-Gi-Oh! But apparently not. So back in the day, a few friends and I, we would Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. And we would call it shadow dueling. And so you get a maximum of 8,000 life points, and every 2,000 life points, if you got below that threshold, you would take a shot. So it was 4 shots per match, right?
Alcoholic shots. Alcoholic
yes.
shots. Okay.
Shadow duels went pretty hard, dude.
Okay.
Shadow duels went pretty hard.
All right. Which one was better? Did you fight with Pokemon cards as well? See, I collected Pokemon cards. I never actually battled with them. Which was a better system? If you can opine on that, Luis, do you know?
Well, my brother and I always played a very scuffed version of Pokemon. We didn't actually know how to play the game. We were just like, well, this Pokemon says it's better, so I win. Like, we didn't actually know the rules.
Yeah, I think I remember doing something like that too, to be honest. It was like, well, obviously, Charizard, I mean, how do you beat him? So
to answer your question, though, I can answer that question because I actually did play the card games for both. But honestly, Pokemon was way easier to understand. You had your little tokens, and you just knew every time you took your turn, you put down an energy, and you could just use that energy in order to actually do the attacks. On Yu-Gi-Oh! It got really convoluted. You had to know how much life your monster had, and then you could put monsters on top of those monsters and transform those monsters into different type of monsters. And you had trap cards. It got stupid.
So what's going on? You got a response for Jed here, Dalan, before we kind of get onto another comment here from YouTube.com?
Why?
Okay.
That's it.
I like it. Hey, you know what he said. You heard what he said. Elden Ring. Okay, Elden Ring. You heard what he said.
Heard what I said.
We do have another comment from Matthew Gonzalez. Thank you for commenting out there. He said, the more I think about PlayStation Plus Premium, the more I think I'm going to give it a shot. I wasn't going to because I don't even play Game Pass. That's a lot of money spent on something I don't even use. But I recently found my PS3 and have been looking to play it again. But a lot of the games I want are still priced really high. I'll see if the service is good enough that I won't miss playing the games natively for now. I've just been wanting to play Resistance Fall of Man, Motorstorm, Killzone 2, and Uncharted. Maybe that'll help me decide which games I really want to buy too. So this guy's he's a little bit sold kind of on the PlayStation 3 aspect of it, right? I just want trophies. But I do appreciate that, Matthew. I see you. I see you. You know, they'll give you your PS3 games. Dalan, your thoughts?
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're buying a catalog for the catalog, because then you have a larger backlog of games than you wanted to. You already got a backlog of games. You're gonna buy this catalog, and you're gonna have an even bigger backlog of games, and you're just never gonna get to any of them. So you just gotta be careful. If you're gonna pay money for this subscription, use it.
I leave him alone.
Period.
Maybe he just look. He already says
that's
he doesn't
hold
pay
on.
for Game Pass. He wants to pay for another one that he won't use. Let the man live. Let the man live.
It's just gonna be another catalog that he's just gonna look at like, oh, I should play this game. Oh, I should play this game.
Yeah, so we should be getting this. This should be dropping pretty soon. I know in Asia and all kinds of territories, as they like to call it, it's dropping everywhere. All this PlayStation Plus stuff. So soon enough, I'm sure we'll get some. We'll have our own comments. And Matthew, please feel free to kind of comment on the YouTubes.com to let us know. Luis, before we get on to the headline, any thoughts on this? Anything you want to tell Matthew here?
Yeah. Well, Resistance went ham. I played that game a lot. That was like my first full I mean, the online, I doubt it'll be there, but that was my first full introduction into like online gameplay and all that stuff. And I've actually for years been wanting to replay MotorStorm again. So if they do add it on there, that would be one game I could tick onto the leaning yes column, but I don't think that'll make me buy it quite yet.
Yeah, we definitely got a lot of prerequisites, right?
Though,
we definitely,
yeah.
We definitely have a lot.
You gotta have a few, but I mean, if you're paying for something, it sounds like he's kind of thinking if I'm paying for it, I'm going to play these, right? So, because at one point he did mention he played Halo, right? So if he's not paying for Game Pass anymore, then he probably stopped paying for it after he finished Halo. So
which I think is great, man. I mean, I honestly think like if it's not like if people are not avid gamers, kind of like we are. You buy it you pay $20, $15 for Halo, and then you're like, that's it, I'm out of here. And
sure, if you do it within that month, but imagine you pay for it and it takes you like 6 months to beat it.
Oh well, yeah, that's the whole that's the whole sinister aspect of these subscription services, right? Is that people forget they even have them, and month to month you see it, and you're like, oh, I should really cancel that, and you never do, right? It just keeps going, but
or I should really use it, and you just never do.
There you go. So we'll get to the headline of this week. We might have these PlayStation 5 Pros and a new Xbox Series S and X coming in 2023 or 2024. And this is kind of based on a Chinese electronic company called TCL. They had a presentation or a conference recently, and during a conference they have these different slides showing off quote game console generations, and they're promoting TCL's 2022 product introduction. And in one of the slides they do have the subhead Gen 9.5. So if we're following along with the generations, we're in generation 9, right? Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Some of the claims they were saying is that these new consoles should be running at 8K resolution with frame rates up to 120 FPS, which, as we already know, actually PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X can already run a bunch of games in 120 frames, right? But the 8K, even the 8K, they should be able to. I know if you look at your PlayStation 5 box, it says 8K up in the corner. So, I think it's interesting. It's a little too early, and I think it's one of those things where I don't know if you guys have seen this company, TCL. I've actually seen them. I think they're kind of like a Walmart brand, right? Like a Walmart TV brand, or at least that's where you would find it. It would be one of the cheaper options, TCL. But
yeah, I know where to find one. I have one in my living room.
Oh, there you go, Dalan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw any kind of shade at you. I myself have a nice little
actually that's
LGO
one of the better. That's actually one of the better TVs that I bought. I bought a Samsung for myself, and I bought a Panasonic for my mother-in-law, and that Panasonic already burned out. And the Samsung I actually don't like to use too often.
Well, and I mean, some of these companies are just kind of like subsidiaries, right? Like or like sub brands or whatever you want to call them. Like Vizio, I think is like a Sony brand too, right? From what I understand, it's Sony, but it's kind of their cheaper or less expensive or whatever you want to call it, Vizio version. I don't think this is too surprising. And as far as like if we're looking at 2023, 2024 for a console refresh, I forget when the PS4 Pro and like the Xbox what is it, Xbox One X came out, but it was like 2-3 years into the console life cycle. Just this one's a little weird, right? Because people can barely kind of get a hold of these systems as it is, and there's already kind of rumors, and we're looking at getting a console refresh going on. But it's it's not too surprising. I'm sure we will get it. But what are your guys' thoughts, Dalan? Do you feel like it's kind of too soon here, like that we're already talking refreshing the PS5 and the Xbox Series X?
Well, the problem isn't necessarily of whether or not it's too soon. It's whether or not these people were still working. They were like, all right, we've released the PS5, and I bet you all the fans and everybody who's watching our company, they want to know what's the next big thing. And the moment they have that happen, they're going to just start working on the Pro, because they probably don't know what they're going to do with the 6, or they don't have the technology for whatever the heck they're going to do with the 6. And if you didn't work on the Pro, what are you doing? You're doing absolutely nothing. You might as well just go on vacation after you're done making the PS5.
Yeah, I mean, they're always working on something, right? Especially because these are kind of glorified PCs, right? Or unglorified PCs. I don't know, whatever you. They're kind of PC They're PC. They're PC architecture, right? These consoles, so they should be able to like easily modify them, right, to the next level and easily refresh them, right? As we saw with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, right? So it's one of those things where, of course, they're working on the next thing. It's just a matter of, how quickly do you want to introduce them into the market, and if people are going to be kind of pissed off that they're still not able to get the original PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Hey,
right?
they're gonna push this thing to the max power, and then when they're done pushing it to the max power, then they'll move on to the
I
next
think they're
system.
doing all right, man. The one that I really want is, where's our Switch like Pro? That's the one, dude, because that thing is already showing it's like it's kind of shutting down. It looks like in trouble. Even playing the latest games, I was playing Switch, the sports game or whatever. That thing's just a little rough, dude. You get a lot of players on screen. It's already struggling. Luis, your thoughts?
You start seeing it pixelate.
Yeah, it's slow down, dude. There's like slow down. It's rough. It's rough to see. I want the next Switch Pro. That's the one I really want. But Luis,
dropping frames.
What are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, of all of the, I don't even really consider the Switch a console, but of all of the consoles out there, that's that's the one.
Sorry.
Yeah,
that's the one that should be getting that actually really needs a console refresh.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone out there is like asking, when are we getting a refresh? You know what Sony could be doing if they weren't making PS6s or thinking about making PS6s? Making PS5s. That's really what they have to worry about.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is way too soon. I think in older generations, 3 and 4, it kind of made sense, but 2020 and COVID kind of threw everything out of whack.
Yeah.
So they kind of do have to account for that. But I mean,
They
these are going
put those
to sell.
resources other places.
No, man. Yeah, exactly. But these are going to sell if they go out there, because scalpers are going to buy them. So it's going to skew the sales number. Exactly.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely yeah, I mean, I'm down for a refresh. I know I just bought this thing. Like, when did we buy this thing? A year ago or 2 years ago? I'm ready to refresh. How about this? We'll go that way. I'm down because I'm just a sucker for this stuff, right? Especially a Switch Pro. But I'm down for it. Dalan, would you grab a refresh or no? You turn that down.
No, I think I'm okay. I completely skipped the whole generation of PS4 Pro, and I did just fine. I think I'll be okay without a PS5
and
Pro.
eventually,
unless there's something significant that disallows me from being able to play games on my PS5, I have no reason to do it.
Dude, and let me tell you, I have the PS4 Pro, and you know how the PS4, the original, the PS4 proper had like the whole, like, you were in a wind tunnel situation? The Pro has its issues too. It sounds like wind tunnel-y as well after a little while. It has its problem. But Luis, you were shaking your head. No, you would not grab the refresh. You'd wait a little bit.
No, not yet. I don't need it. And if I'm going to upgrade anything, it would be my PC, not my PS5. So
we talk about PCs around here.
Hey man, those graphics cards are starting to hit the market rate value again.
Exactly.
And you guys know what my PC refreshing is about, right? Like how that works. It works when Brian, my brother, gets a new PC. I give me your hand-me-down. I'll take the next one, please. That's my process.
Buy it from Brian MSRP.
There you go. No. Don't give him ideas here. But look, it is early. It is early, and this is not Sony and Microsoft being out there and like this is coming out. So it's not confirmed. It's just the kind of rumors. But of course, it's going to be a refresh. It's just a matter of when. right? And TCL was like, we got you. Look, we got a little info. Generation 9.5.
I'm glad you decided to put TLC out there.
TLC, TCL, you know what it is. I hope you're running 120 frames on that, Dalan, or at least 60, right? 60. Well, I think most TVs are 60. But does that TCL give you 120?
Hey man, I ain't no scrub.
Oh, okay, all right. Whatever then.
Don't go tracing waterfalls.
The next one we have before Dalan, I gave you enough rope on that one, Dalan. The next thing, we might be getting a Dreamcast Mini announcement, or at least that's what I hope it is. Sega in their Japanese Twitter account, which is, they said that there's going to be a quote urgent notice. A live broadcast to announce Sega's new project will be delivered from 20 hours on June 3rd. So that's like about 7 a.m. on Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern time. So if you guys care, like on the Pacific time, what is that, 4? Wake up at 4 a.m. Wake up at 4 a.m. to get this little announcement. Now, we don't know what it is, but they said it's a special announcement, right? But one of the things that kind of points to maybe we get the next mini is the fact that one of the presenters is going to be Hiroyuki Miyazaki and Yosuke Okunari, which the Okunari is a Sega producer. They'll both be on the stream. And Okunari is suggested in October 2020 that Sega's next mini console could be the Sega Dreamcast. So the fact that they said that these guys are two of the presenters that day, I'm down for a little Dreamcast Mini, man. I'm very, very much down. I don't know about you guys, but I am. Luis, what do you think, man? Are we getting a Dreamcast Mini announcement or no? Don't break my heart.
I mean, if I don't know whether, that's not a lot of info to go whether or not there will or won't be an announcement, but if there is a new Dreamcast Mini thingy, then I'm down for it. I mean, that console, I totally missed out on it. I didn't grow up with one. We had it, like, one of my mom's friends' sons had one, and we didn't go over there very often. So that's like the only time that I actually ever got to play a Dreamcast. So there's a lot of games I missed playing.
Yeah, and it's gonna come down to what's included, right? On as far as like the Dreamcast Mini, but there's plenty of stuff. If they throw in like a little Skies of Arcadia, a little Shenmue action, a little Crazy Taxi, Sonic. Man, I miss that era. It was just so good. It was just so good.
Hey, you go back and
I'm already
like these games were so
look.
terrible,
I get that. I don't know how they age, right? I don't know how they age, but it would be nice.
Sonic Adventures did not age well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it didn't, age very well. But I'm still down. And I just played Shenmue, dude. So Shenmue 1 was still like, kind of rough.
Crazy Taxi aged just fine.
Yeah.
All right. You had absolutely no sky. There was nothing in the far background. All you had was the city walls and a bunch of repeat characters on the street that you were probably running over.
But you had Pizza Hut and KFC, and you had Tower Records that doesn't exist anymore. So that'd be kind of interesting to see. Kind of like, the licensing thing is always a little interesting, right? What bands can they get back? Are you starting off with the yeah like you did back in 99, 2000? So we'll see. Offspring, they can license Offspring, man. They can do it for a mini. Dalan, your thoughts, man? Are we getting a Dreamcast Mini or what you
I'm not sure if it's going to be a Dreamcast Mini simply because Sega has made a number of announcements, and one of them that I recall was there was a point we were talking about their Mega game collection or whatever the heck it was that they were going to do.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but they were talking about bringing back
like
a bunch
Super
of
Game,
IPs.
Super Game or Mega Game or something like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think that they're just gonna announce that again. That's what I feel like it's gonna be.
Okay, which I still
they haven't talked about it in a minute.
Wait, look. All things. Yes, I would love a little Dreamcast Mini, right, with the controller and getting the feel of the controller again, all that, right? Single analog.
They did patent it again, didn't they?
Single analog, by the way. After having the Dual Shock controller or whatever, they're like, you don't need two analogs. I was like, Dreamcast. But I would still be down. But yes, Dalan, to be honest, I would probably prefer a new Jet Grand Radio or a new update, right, to one of their older games.
I mean, Carlos, you know what that means though? That just means trophies. That just means more trophies.
That's what I was gonna say.
That just means trophies.
That's what I was gonna say.
They're bringing back these old games of trophies.
That's what I was gonna say. If the Mini has trophies, it's over, dude. It's over just by it being on the shelves. To be honest, I'm gonna just pick it up regardless.
Hey man, you and your rose tinted glasses on the Dreamcast. It's at this point, it's almost as bad as looking at the 64. It's definitely not as bad.
64,
But
you know,
there are a lot of
64 was rough.
terrible looking games on the Dreamcast.
Yeah. So it's just, of course, I will fully accept that. I'll fully accept that. But if we get that, but I think, yeah, we might be a little closer to what you were saying, Dalan. It might be there. Just give us an update on the Super game or whatever it is they're working on next.
Whatever it was.
We're moving on to quick takes here. So we got a date. Beware of the blast radius, as I put it here on the rundown. Modern Warfare 2 has an official release date, October 28th. So I'm hyped. I'm in. Dalan, you in, right? We're jumping in.
The question is it really a blast radius though? Because unfortunately for Call of Duty and Black Ops recently, they've been having their fair share of issues.
I'll put it
and don't get me wrong, there is definitely the fan base that will buy any installment of these games that come out. Yeah. But I feel like it's not getting as much traction as it used
Dalan,
to.
we were just talking about this, man. I don't know if it might have been last episode or the episode before. We were just talking about how the big milestone for Elden Ring was like beating probably the more like the more divisive, or the one that people hated, whatever the word is. They really hated Vanguard, right? And we were just talking about how Elden Ring beat Vanguard, dude. And Modern Warfare 2, I mean, come on, we know we're jumping in. Dan, you're jumping into Modern Warfare 2, man.
More than likely.
So yes, the blast radius is real for Modern Warfare 2. Way more real than it was for Vanguard. And like I said, we were just glorifying, or we were just celebrating the fact that Eld Ring, how Jet says it, Eld Ring.
Just don't hurt yourself. Just say Eld Ring.
Just the fact that they just beat the, Vanguard, and it wasn't even really like held as a great Call of Duty. So yes, the blast radius is real. Luis, your thoughts, man? Is the blast radius real? We'll ask that.
The blast radius is fully real on this one. There's a lot of people waiting for Modern Warfare refresh or an update for 2. Yeah. But me personally, I know just like you, the multiplayer is great, it's fun, whatever. But I'm itching to get into that Modern Warfare campaign, so that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah. Dude, and I play all the campaigns anyways, man. Like, I play Vanguard. That's really what I'm about. But if you guys are around while I'm kind of playing through the campaign, I'm down. And if Dalan jumps in, Dalan, come on, don't be scared. Just jump into some Modern Warfare 2, man. He's shaking his head over here. I think
we'll find out.
So next thing we have on here is, as Sony is blaming a quote technical error for PlayStation Plus members being made to pay the difference after stacking new subscriptions. They actually put this out on their Twitter Ask PlayStation. They said, quote, due to a technical error, players in Asia who have previously purchased a PlayStation Plus membership at a discount have been incorrectly charged for their upgrade pricing. This error has been fixed and impacted players will receive a credit. We thank you for your patience. I don't know. This was I think after we went live last week, it kind of quickly erupted where people were like, yeah, you're going to have to pay us back for you stacking your memberships, or for you like kind of getting a higher tier than you were supposed to. And Sony was like going through it, dude. I think the backlash was so strong, if I may say, that they were like, shit, we gotta do something about this. They don't like this. And I was like, why wouldn't they, man? It's like a system, like if gamers or users kind of exploited a system that you like weren't there to like be, fully kind of like, you just have to accept it, I guess. You just have to accept the loss that people stacked it and you weren't able to close that loop, right? That loophole there. But I do like how they came back and they were like, it was a technical error. It's like, bullshit, you were trying to get away with charging people more. And they it was too strong. The reaction was too strong, and you were like, "Don't worry about it. You guys are good." Luis, what do you think of this quote unquote technical error here? People are getting charged.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it actually really was, some bug that came out of them trying to patch people trying to do that now versus people that had already done it. So maybe it, to playing devil's advocate here a little bit, but it could have actually just been a technical error that affected people that already had stacked it. Yeah. But either way, it's like they still messed up, right? Like they just allowing them to do this. They obviously didn't think about it, and somehow people stacked up years and years worth of this new PlayStation Plus Premium Enhanced, whatever the hell we're calling it.
We don't know the name. They don't even know.
So yeah, just own up to it. Just own up to it.
I like that though. We'll give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. But I mean, again, we're Sony. We're talking about the company that during the PlayStation 3 era had you got to pay an extra online pass fee. You got to pay an
Get a
extra
second
$10.
job.
You got to get a second job for your PS3. You know, that's how
That
expensive.
was
So,
my first drop.
you
What
know,
was the
it's-
first
it's
list
a-
at? It was first list at $800 or something.
No, it was pricey, dude. It was 600. I mean, but at the time,
was six
now it's inflation, blah blah blah. 500 seems quaint. It seems reasonable, but you're talking about 2006, $600 when the Wii was like 250, I think 250, 200 or something. So it was ridiculous. So I appreciate that though, Luis. I appreciate you want to give them a little benefit of the doubt, but again, Sony, man. Sony, I feel like they were just trying to. I don't know what they're thinking. Some of these, you know, sometimes I don't know what they're thinking, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess. I suppose. Another thing here, as far as the PlayStation Plus emulation is kind of off to a rough start. I know. I think it was who are the guys that do the. They're not called Digital Eclipse, right? Do you know what they're called, Luis? The guys that do like the Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry did sort of like a breakdown of how the emulation is going, and it's only in Asia, right? But a lot of these games are running at 50 hertz, which is basically like 50 frames. So our TVs, US or I think it's NSTC, are not really compatible with that kind of like 50 hertz, 50 frames situation. So it looks jittery. It creates like put on the rundown. It creates sort of a ghost effect. But I don't know. The only thing I can think of is the fact that the PAL, the European kind of code of these games, are 50 hertz, and maybe because it has all these languages, and maybe they don't have to worry about like relocalizing into Spanish, French, whatever. And they're like, here's this crappy version, so we're really not even trying to work on it that much. But other than that, it's kind of rough out there, man. And I guess we're gonna find out, because we're not gonna stay quiet, I'm sure, if we're like, wait, why are we getting this 50 hertz version of these damn games around here? Dalan, what do you think, man? You'll be happy with these 50 hertz versions when they come stateside?
If I'm getting ghost effects, I'm not going to be happy with that. I mean, I've played games with that ghost effect before because, you know, it happens sometimes. But I feel like Sony and whoever their third-party cohorts are that they actually assign for these types of things don't realize that there are plenty of really good coders out there that have already made emulators that work perfectly fine. They could always just hire a couple of these people and fix their crap immediately.
Or just give the option, right? Give the option, like, look, we have the PAL version and we got the NTCS version. Like, which one do you want? Like, don't force people to, like, you have the European version where it's like 50 hertz. It's the much worse edition of it, right? But, yeah. Luis,
these are very easy fixes for them. They just don't want to put the money out for it.
Yeah. Luis, your thoughts on this?
You know why they don't want to put up the money? Because people stacked years and years and years worth of this PlayStation Plus Enhanced. They got gypped out of all that money that they would have had.
Hey, man, that was their own fault. I'm pretty sure we just covered this.
There you go. Hey,
no, but yeah, this is things like this are the main reason why I didn't just jump on day one. You know, I'm waiting to see what the little rough patches are and all that stuff. So I'm sure they'll figure it out at some point, and then when they add enough games that I want to play. Yeah. Then I'll pay for it.
Would you know, like, you know, I don't know if you kind of, you know, you're in the industry, Luis. Would you know why they would like offer that version over NTCS? It doesn't really, you know, I was trying to simplify it a little bit, but maybe that's not the reason, right? That it's maybe localization. It's already in all these different languages, makes it easier to kind of just drop onto the service. But do you know why they would go with the PAL versus like NTSC, which is 60 frames for the most, or 60 hertz at least, you know, where it's 60 to 30 frames or whatever. Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, to me, it just sounds like it's an issue they didn't think was going to be a problem, and they're, you know, was something that they just didn't even consider. Because I mean, these aren't necessarily just games that they like straight up ported, right? They have like suspend features, save, online multiplayer, that sort of stuff. So it's not like a 1-to-1 comparison of like the exact same game from back in the day. I just think it's something maybe they didn't consider testing out multiple different types of like TVs and refresh rates.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when we see it, right? Maybe when we see it, and maybe that's why they release it in Taiwan and all these Asian territories. They're like, nah, we'll just give them whatever. That's cool. They'll be happy with it. And then in the US version, they're like, they will not be happy with that. We better like give them the versions that they need. So we're still, you know, we're still a couple weeks away, but I'm sure soon enough, if we end up with these versions, dude, people are gonna be upset, you know, and they're gonna like, this is why we stacked against you guys. This is why we got it for cheap. Next thing on here, we might have a little bit of a preview. So this one's kind of falls into the rumor thing, but I don't know about you guys, but anytime there's like a rumor of like this is what the PlayStation Plus free games are gonna be, it's usually correct. But for June 2022, this is from a Spanish website called Aria Jugones. God of War, Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker, maybe you can help me with that, Dalan, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl are coming to PlayStation Plus, which is kind of the essential, is it the essential or the cheap one? Whatever it's called. It's the one you have now. That's dropping. God of War, it's fine. Naruto's fine, but I'm actually kind of interested in this Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl because I would never buy it. I didn't even gamefly it, but I'm kind of down to try it out a little bit just to see how wacky it is.
I forgot
Dalan?
it was a thing, but it's kind of like looking at freaking PlayStation All Stars, whatever that was. Yeah. I feel the same way about it. There was a bunch of Brawl games that came out after Smash Brothers, and not one of them hold a torch to that game. Oh, dude, but yeah. This is just one of those things that you'd be like, all right, let me try it just so I can give up on it.
Yeah. Now, is that what you're hyped for, or maybe more of a God of War or Naruto, or were you thinking the same thing? I'll try out All-Star Brawl.
I already beat God of War. I kind of skip out on every Naruto game ever since I played Ninja Storm like 2 or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what Shinobi Striker is, and Nickelodeon All-Stars is the only one I'm like, I'll try it.
Let's sit down, we'll download it, try a match or two. That's how it works. Dude,
I mean, they already gave us God of War for free for those who actually got a hold of the PS5. It was a part of the 28 games that you get for free. So putting it on the PlayStation Plus is probably going to make people upset. I talked about this before. People are cheap. They'll be mad because they're gonna be re-upping a game that's already free.
So it's more of a benefit for like PlayStation 4, right? PlayStation 4 console owners that haven't gone to PS5. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm kind of down for this Nickelodeon. Like you were saying about Smash Brothers, it's just a good game. That's just too good of a game that it can't be replicated unless they like straight out rip it off. Which there's another one.
Set the standards.
This is not the end, man. There's still that like Marvel, no, not Marvel, Warner Brothers multiverses or something like that.
That one's coming out.
They're throwing out Game of Thrones characters, all kinds of stuff into that, you know. So we're not at the end of this. Luis, what do you think, man, of the potential games we're getting this week, right, or next week? I think we'll probably be getting them
next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Nickelodeon probably won't hold the torch to Smash Brothers, but it might hold a candle, Dalan. It might hold a candle.
No, it won't. Yeah. You're gonna play that game. You'll be like, "This game is trash. Why did I ever pick it up?"
We're gonna find out.
But yeah, I was gonna say the same thing about God of War. It's like a lot of people already have that for free, so it's kind of weird to put it out again through PlayStation Plus, exactly the same way other people got it for free again. But we'll see how the internet reacts to this one.
Oh, you know they have something to say, man. I'm pretty sure there's already people that notice this exact thing already saying something. This one's for you, Luis. PlayStation State of Play. We're getting one this week, June 2nd at 3 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be a 30-minute like showcase of games. What do you think? I know the next thing we talk about is a Sly Cooper. We're not getting that, but that'll be later in the year. But is there anything maybe you're kind of looking forward to, you know, that you can think of? Because this is going to be like their E3 showcase, basically, right? This is kind of their no E3 presentation kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe if it's 30 minutes, I don't know how much they can really announce in that if they're trying to emulate E3 sort of time.
True.
But for these, I never really have anything specifically I look forward to. I kind of just put them on, have them in the background while I'm working, and if something catches my eye, or ear, I kind of look over. But yeah, that's more kind of why I'm just excited to have some game reveal of something happening, but I don't really have any expectations of anything.
They usually throw like one or two things in there, right? Even whether it's like an indie or something, they'll throw in a little seafood, or they throw in a little something where it's like, okay, that's kind of interesting. 90% of it was trash. Like you have, what was that, Loots of Random or Random and Looting or whatever, and it's like you're gonna run out of cards at some point.
Lost in Random.
Thank you, Dalan. Thank you. Thank you for that. But I'm sure we'll get one or two things. That's out in a couple days. We'll be able to see that. And we do have, so this is an insider. This is Nick Baker from Xbox Era Podcast. He did say that Sly Cooper 5 will be announced later in 2022. And that's via comicbook.com. I myself am super down for another Sly Cooper, man. I liked it. Although, of course, We already had a Sly Cooper come out, and it's called Ghost of Tsushima.
I knew you were
Just
gonna
jump.
say that.
Just jump and tell me that's not Sly Cooper. Just jump once. And you're playing Sly Cooper. All right, but yeah, I'm down for another Sly Cooper, man. Those are pretty fun games. Luis, what do you think, man?
Yeah, that's not the direction I would have expected. I'm assuming it's Sucker Punch again, but that's not the direction I expected them to go in. If anything, I would have expected them to go into another Infamous. It's been a while since we had an Infamous.
Yeah.
But Sly Cooper, yeah, I'll check it out. See what it's all about, you know.
Well, Infamous is a little newer too, right? I mean, because we didn't get the last time we saw Sly Cooper was PS2, right? Did we get one for PS2? Oh yeah, we did one. That was, I think Sly 4 was PS4 and Vita, right? I think, and then they did like a collection where it was just for the Vita. So I think it's been a while, man. I think Infamous, we at least got one for PS4, right? With Infamous.
Yeah, it was a launch title.
Yes, and that was pretty good, man. I know people were like, Infamous. I guess it never caught fire, man. I think people just, for whatever reason, right?
I thought they were great games.
Yeah, they were good. The animations were nice. I mean, you just jump, and of course you're in another Sly Cooper game. They can never get away from that jump. It's always that little, like, they have their arms up, kind of. They're, and you stick to poles everywhere. Just try to be near a pole, and you will get stuck to it. But yeah, Sly Cooper 5, I'm down for it, man. Oh, or Infamous too, as well, because I think they went in a good direction with Second Son, man. I think they might have even like upped their game, and they really it was much better in my opinion. Next thing we have on here is Sony plans to be done with PS4 games by 2025. The company is expecting to only release games on PS5, PC, and mobile by 2025. So this is kind of a statement they put out there. I still think it's a little weird though, man. PS4 came out 2013, so we're talking 12 years later. What do they think they are, man? Nintendo, 3DS, DS, who do they think they are? Talk about till 2025 we will keep dropping PS4 games. Dalan, what do you think, man? We still got some more of these PS4 games to go.
And man, it's still 3 years of PS4 games before they stop. That's a good long time. But then again, when we hit that point, if we're still dealing with COVID, even then, it's going to be a whole PS Vita situation. You might not say you're going to be releasing games for the PS4, but there are still going to be companies making games for the PS4.
Yeah, there comes a point where the consumer base, right, the fan base or whatever it is, it's just so, the install base is so huge that we're still gonna release FIFA. No, not FIFA. What were we calling it, Luis? FC Sport Ball 2027 or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, they freaking changed that name. I saw that too.
So we're still, we'll still drop a Madden, we'll still drop a MLB The Show, right? Because it's just, why not? That's a couple million copies just waiting to be sold, right? So I'm sure that's part of it, right? Luis, what do you think, man?
I mean, this is about the same amount of time they supported the PS3. It was about 11 years or something, maybe 12 as well. So it's not anything too out of the norm for Sony, but I do think just because of this specific situation they're in, it is kind of a weird move to think to keep supporting the PS4 during this time, and assuming companies are going to go multi-platform for PS4, PS5 titles, and kind of, in my opinion, hindering the quality of games we could get on the PS5 if they're still trying to port it over to PS4. Like we're talking about the Batman game where they just announced they're close to shipping the game, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to support that platform anymore.
We're not doing this. We're not messing around anymore. We're done. I mean, the thing is, it's even, we've talked about it a couple times with the new Horizon. I think Horizon didn't necessarily suffer from it, but it's a huge company, right? Sony, that they're like, all right, we'll still we'll truncate it down. We still could kind of dissect and cut, and it'll still be good. But these other companies are definitely like, no, we need to step away from this, because otherwise it'll suffer. We're dedicating resources to instead of making the game look as good as it possibly can. So we'll see what happens. 2025, we'll still have some more FC Sport Balls 2027s by then. Next thing on here is we have Sony is also saying that more than 20 games will be ready for PlayStation VR 2 launch. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of mini games, I'm pretty sure we'll get those, but I don't know, Dan, what do you think? Do you think we'll get some big big titles there on
No,
the
that was the
launch day?
exact thing I was going to say. We're going to have absolutely no AAA games unless they actually use games that were already released on the PSVR 1. They're going to do the same thing that they did when they moved from PS3 to PS4. They're just going to port a bunch of games they had already made, be like, all right, watch it look better on the PSVR 2.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Luis, what do you think, man? You think that's I think Dalen's pretty right on that.
You're for sure gonna get a Beat Saber at launch, and you're for sure gonna get a Despero at launch, maybe.
Yeah.
But aside from that, 20. I think maybe 3 games are the ones that people are actually gonna want to buy, the general public, and then there'll maybe be one on the outlier of the 20 that you'll check out. But hopefully they're good. But we'll see what comes out after launch.
So
right?
we need more don't give us 20 million mini games. Tell us like this is the 1 or 2 like big title. This is what we're working on. This is what you're hyped about, right? This is what gets you hyped up. Dalan, before we move on.
There are absolutely no titles that I even know of that they've even announced for the PSVR 2. I cannot think of one. Literally,
it's because they haven't.
It's because they haven't. Because they're talking about 20 games and they haven't announced one.
I mean, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it reluctantly, but I'm just a sucker, man. I'm just. You guys already know this. I'm gonna get it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna be disappointed, but I'm gonna get it. Next thing.
Stop signing on to PSVR.
Yeah, stop. Well, yeah, but no. Mainly, Dalan, please put the camera on me.
Yeah,
stop
but no.
signing into GTA 5. Stop doing that, please, so we can get our GTA 6 at some point. Next
Luis
thing
is like,
here,
I don't care what you say, I'm doing it.
This one's for you, Dalan. Star Wars Jedi Survivor officially announced for 2023. I know they kind of released a little bit of a trailer, Dalan. Did you get to check out any footage for it? Or are you just...
I did, and it wasn't really a trailer. It was more just a cinematic. But it was nice to know that they are definitely going to be coming out with it, because I know they announced it, but I didn't know if they actually had the chance to work on it and to actually see the fact that they're actually making a little bit of progress. I'm hoping that this game comes out soon. So I'm hoping like first quarter 2023. That'd be awesome.
I do like how Dalen's like, I don't know if they had a chance to work on it, but Dalan, as soon as the first one shipped, they've been working on this shit. I can assure you that maybe they went 1, 2, 3 Cancun for like a month, man. But other than that, they were back in their seats, right? At least what's reasonable for a developer to kind of take off before like, all right, back to the grind. Motorsport or Storm 2 or whatever it is.
Motorsport Storm. Boruto Toe.
What is kind of reasonable? What do you think? And I know everything's different, right? But
yeah, I mean, I would assume that for a good chunk of time you're there supporting patches for a bit, maybe for 3. If it doesn't have multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
Maybe for 3 to 6 months while it's in pre-production. And then they kind of start pulling people in as the title is kind of ready for animation, artists, engineers, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think it was that much longer after release before they started, at least pre-production on the thing.
They've done it. But I do appreciate that, Dalan. I do appreciate you saying, I don't know if they had a chance to work on it. It's like, oh, they've been fucking working on it. They've been doing something. They've been doing something. The next thing, Dalan, we're hyped about this, dude. We love this. It's super massive. It's just they just go too ham. I know their games are wacky and they're kind of niche. They're not like super mainstream. But their next game, The Quarry, is coming out in about a week or so. I think next week, right? June 10th, I think. But they did say they're delaying the multiplayer.
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay. Yeah, next Friday, I think, right? Possibly, or the next Friday.
Something like that.
Anyways, The Quarry, they are delaying the multiplayer to July 8th, but the game itself will be shipping on time. And this is how we play these games, Dalan. So playing it in co-op, it's, that's kind of what we do. But I'm going to have to leave you behind, man. I'm just going to have to do it. I'm sorry.
You're just going to go do the movie mode?
I'm going to play it however I can play it. And then how about this? We'll clean up the trophies, all right, after.
Well, we still have the thing that we need to do, House of Ashes.
Yeah. So we got plenty to do.
So we got to play through House of Ashes. That might give you a little extra time.
So the statement from Supermassive is the wait is almost over. And the team and I are so excited for you to get your hands on The Quarry in just over 2 weeks. The game will launch on June 10 with local couch co-op and movie mode alongside the single-player campaign. However, we've made the difficult decision to delay the online multiplayer mode to deliver the best possible experience for you. It's not a long wait, though. The online multiplayer will be added via an update by July 8th. We appreciate your understanding and hope you're just as excited as we are for the launch in just 15 days, which is a little bit less than that now, right? But yeah.
Now, I will actually say this. I was talking to the homie Alan, and he actually made the statement that this is the next game that we're gonna play, right? Because it is the only one that mattered after Until Dawn. I was like, wait, hold on.
Okay.
You know that there were other games in between there.
Yeah.
This one is a part of a set of games. I don't think people realize that the Quarry, the Little Hope,
Yeah.
Man of Medan, they don't realize. Yeah, they don't realize that it's all a part of a single game. It is an anthology.
Now, Dalan, I just gave you a little bit of rope there. I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on your own little soliloquy.
Yes.
But no, this is a big deal. This is a big deal because it's not part of the anthology. The anthology is a separate thing. Until Dawn was its own. Yeah, Until Dawn was its own thing. No.
Well, I know Until Dawn was its own thing, but this is not a part of the Dark Anthology.
Dude,
it's
look at the production values on this thing, Dan. Look at the actors that are involved in this thing. Like, I mean, look, it's not Tom Cruise. It's not, they're not
Brenda Song.
But they have
from
bigger.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
There you go. They have bigger artists. They got the guy from Scream. What's his name? He's the cop. He's the cop guy. Anyways, he's in the game. The stars are bigger, is what I'm saying. But no, this is it's pretty big. So your friend was right. We put it on wax, Dalan, that you were incorrect. Tell your friend that he was right. But yeah, no, Until Dawn was its own big production, right? And they said, you know what? We like making these games. We're gonna make yearly releases. That's a Dark Pictures anthology, which I think we're still owed 1 or 2 more. But I'm sure they're gonna do it after the Quarry. So the Quarry, it's the next big thing after Until Dawn, and the multiplayer. So we thought it was just kind of 1-2 player co-op, Dalan, but apparently it's up to like 7 players, man. So Luis,
but that's couch co-op, isn't it?
I don't know. I think maybe that's why
I'm
they're
pretty
delaying
sure that's couch co-op.
I think that's probably why they're delaying it. The fact that it is up to like 7 players or something. I don't know, but Lisa's joining us.
Hey, that would be an interesting way to do it, because all these other games, you have like 4 or 5 characters that you're actually walking around with, but you have to keep switching off with them. But if you have enough for multiple people to play online with instead of just 2 online people, that would actually make it even more massive. It's such a nice
little game, dude. And we have a little bit more to say, not too much, but a little bit more to say at what you've been playing about it. Luis, what are your thoughts, man? You're getting in with
I mean, I think that's fine. A little 2-week delay. They're still launching the game on time. They're giving it more time. It's one of the nicer sort of delays we've had in the past 2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you feel the need to jump on it right away when you're in the middle of playing other games right now. But
I need it.
I could wait. I could wait.
So when the online is live, you'll play with this, right? You'll grab it at that point.
I guess if they have the 5-6 player online.
Now if it's a 2-week delay, that means it's kind of done, right? At this point, they're just kind of polishing it, right, Luis? Am I, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume they're in the midst of like just a few high-profile bugs in QA, and they're just kind of going back and forth in the testing and building process now. But I don't think it's too
because
bad.
when me and Dalan play the other ones, it is a little buggy, man. Sometimes it'll kick us out and it'll do little weird things, but it's so good that we're just
don't kill it.
Let's just, it's a little buggy, but we'll just jump in. Right? But we'll just jump in, right, Dalan? Because Dying Light 2 was super rough, dude, and I'm pretty sure the budget on Dying Light 2 was way higher than these anthology games. But on the next thing on here is that we have Forspoken, which I think was a game that you've been looking forward to, Dalan. That has received a PEGI 18 rating for, quote, strong language, alcohol use, and in-game purchases. So that's a little interesting that's why it gets a little 18 rating. And I did get the story from VGC, Video Games Chronicle. They said in their article, the player's character can order alcoholic drinks at a bar. The drinks affect the player's statistics, but do so in a random manner with negative outcomes possible. The game also includes scenes of realistic violence, including spoilers, right? We won't read further ahead, but there's a lot of violence going on around here, Dalan. The fact that it's a 18 rating kind of hypes you up more for it, or it doesn't really matter, or what do you think? What do you think the fact that
a critical path this game? I don't think I'm going to be messing with that too much.
Okay.
As much as they wanted to give it an 18 rating, I mean, I don't even think it's going to be that. Maybe it's going to be M for mature when it comes to the US
likely.
for our rating, but that does not change what we're going to be doing. I understand the standards are different in Europe, but when we get it, we're just gonna blow through it. Alcohol not gonna phase us whatsoever. You got a 10-year-old who's played games, and they got people drinking in Lego games drinking alcohol. So I don't think.
Are you sure that's not beer butter beer, or what do they call it? What's the?
Hey, I'll tell you what. What was Gandalf drinking at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings?
Oh, you know he was lit.
Games?
You know he was lit.
All right then, there you go.
A little juice. He's drinking a little juice.
Just leave him
He was
alone.
drinking
Just leave him alone.
juice.
He's just a little under
He was
the
drinking that
influence.
gummy juice.
But Forspoken, Dalan, you're just kind of like you're just waiting on it, right?
It's a done deal. As soon as that game drops, I'm getting it. I'm waiting on Forspoken the same way I was waiting on Kenna Bridge of Spirits. As soon as I can pre-order it, I'm going to.
And look, I mean, your opinion I will take with a grain of salt, sir. Because Kenna, you're like, this is like the best game I've ever played, and I was like,
No, this is one of the best games I played in years, and I still hold by that.
So
I was playing It Takes Two like a couple of days ago, and that game very much holds up no matter what.
Blows it out of the water, you know.
No, it doesn't blow it out of the water. I'm going back to play Kenna again. I'm over here telling Jet to actually get on Kenna, and he's just being lazy because he's stuck on Elden.
Because he's looking at it and he's like, this is not great looking. I mean,
he very much enjoys the game, but he's stuck on Elden Ring.
Right,
Elden Ring's got people.
You're talking about Elden Ring.
It's gonna took some people.
You're talking about Elden Ring, of course. But yeah, no, look, It Takes Two, man. Our game of the year, our collective game of the year. We're gonna move on to what you've been playing here. Luis, I see you typing it into the rundown real quick. Before
just so you know,
before Luis gets into his statement, but I'll get into my disclaimer real quick. Stop logging into GTA 5, please. Luis, what you been playing, man?
GTA 5.
Oh, come on,
snaps.
Come on, Luis. What's going on here, dude?
Yeah, just playing a little GTA Online.
Is there anything different from the way that it's actually been upgraded between the last time that we actually got a chance to play together?
Yeah, so the main difference is, well, obviously the graphics and frame rate. They give you the options like all the other kind of PS5 games give you the quality, fidelity, FPS options for graphics, but the main difference is to gameplay or specifically vehicles. I guess that so when you go mod a vehicle, it gives you the option to add different parts to it to increase its like braking or steering and that kind of thing. And with the update to PS5 or next gen, acceleration now has a second row, so there's some vehicles that you can actually upgrade to be even faster. And I think
stupid wicked fast. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that was actually a technical limitation of back at when it released on PS3 and 4, was that the game, it would have been moving so fast that the frame rate would actually been suffering dramatically. So yeah, there's some nice little cars there, and I'm trying to basically just run heists and do things to get all these like really fast vehicles and just kind of have fun with them. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
I think I still have it installed, man. I
mean,
it doesn't matter. You need to get that upgrade, Carlos.
There's a $10 one I still haven't done, I guess. But you know what? I have this.
That's for the story.
I have this dilemma, right? That it's like I give them more cash, and they're like, "Look, even this guy proclaiming to stop logging in is over here upgrading his copy. Why? Why would we ever release GTA 6? We have no.
I mean,
pressure.
It was free. I don't know why you didn't get it.
But look, all I know is, like Dalan said earlier, I just hope they're getting a chance to work on GTA 6. You know, I just hope that they've even thought about it. You know, I hope they.
Hey, for you not upgrading, it is now a matter of principle versus what you want to do.
I just want GTA 6, man. I just want a campaign. Dalan, what you been playing, man?
I've been playing. I actually started playing that was so famed Elden Ring. So I actually got to the point where I figured out this maiden situation you were talking about. I hadn't even gotten there yet, Carlos. I hadn't even gotten there yet. That's how far I had gotten.
Like the first 30 minutes, Dalan. Like the first.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the maiden situation yet, and I just got to the maiden situation last gameplay. So I reached my first boss. Stupid guy with a staff completely murdered me and my little homie. I'm still stuck on him, but I gotta say,
who's your little homie?
Well, when you get to this first boss, there's a golden text where you could summon a AI character to actually run in there with you. And I summon him, and he's in there with his magic helping me throw stuff, but he dies as soon as the boss gets to half health.
You gotta use him as a decoy at that point, Dalan.
That's it. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I got to figure out how to really get past him, or I just got to get help from friends.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say about this is that the open world aspect of the game is actually still pretty cool compared to the other Dark Souls games that were very linear. But I'm trying to critical path it, and then suddenly it starts feeling linear again, and I like that feeling of it being linear because you're trying to go from point to point, just trying to get to the end of the game, really. And on your way, the biggest monsters show up. Guys on their big old horses, guys with shields that are garbed in different colors that are way more powerful than all the other little guys that you've been murdering all day long. And at some point,
have you met the dragon that swoops into a big old lake and that covers a whole lake?
No,
have you run into that
I have
one?
not gotten to. I have not gotten to that. I think I got to get past the first boss for that first. But I got my horse, got that maiden. And at some point, a troll jumped off a bridge and scared the hell out of me for a second. It took me a while to kill that guy, and I was like, "No, I'm just gonna run." And he chased me. And he murdered everybody behind me, and then I killed him.
It's wacky. It's. I think that's
it
why
can
people
get
have.
wacky real fast.
I think that's why people have so much fun with it, right? Because there's really you kind of go about it in whatever way you're trying to beat these bosses, right? Like you're just kind of like scraping by. You're like, okay, how do I murder this character? It's gonna be.
I like the fact that your horse starts with double jump right off the bat.
Yeah, there you go. What else you been playing, Dalan?
Doesn't have vertical jump off the bat.
When do you get to the
not
vertical
off the bat.
jump?
You gotta earn it, man.
We want to see it, Dalan. We want to see it. You got documented. We've been talking about it for a while now, months and months and months. What else you been playing, Dalan?
I believe both of us actually jumped into it for a short period. Was Destiny 2's Season of the Haunted, because that actually just started. With that update came the Leviathan. They brought back one of my favorite raids of Destiny 2 because it's not exactly like Vault of Glass or the Crota raid or whatever those were called. So I'm glad that they brought back the Leviathan. And now they created a whole bunch of missions that revolve around the Leviathan. But now we got to do the dungeon. We just got to figure out. It's one of those games at this point. We just got to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, and the light level went up, and there's a few other like little missions that I did find out when I was trying to catch up to before they vaulted it, right? Before they vaulted everything up. Last time I was like, there's some
600 spots. You just reminded me.
Yeah, there was. Well, the vault itself, right? But what I'm saying is like they vaulted content, and I did go through some of the older stuff. I was like, this is kind of cool. So now it's a matter of like, all right, I'm sold. I'll get into the seasons, do the couple missions, and the good thing is we have a higher light level. But already, like, I did kind of complete a lot of the content, or as far enough to where I have to wait for the new reset, right? So I got the reset, and I'm ready to go on the reset date to kind of get a little bit more content.
Yeah, so that's one thing I'll actually touch base on is this weekly thing. Don't get me wrong, it's cool that they're trying to do this so they could draw out how often people will actually log into this game. But I kind of feel like I should wait until all like 10 weeks are done and then just hop into it and just do it all at once because you'll just get a bunch of content all at the same time. Yeah. But then at that point, it's kind of like joining the boat late or hopping on the bus late. Okay. And everybody else has already gotten off the bus. They all got on at the first stop. They went through the first 3 stops. They're done. They're getting off. I'm at the 5th stop.
They already went back to GTA, man. They already went back to GTA.
Who's everybody else, Dalan? Who else do you play this game with?
Who, Dalan?
I'm talking about when you go into like, what is it? What do you call it? LFG? When you're on LFG, you're trying to find people, and there's less people to actually LFG with.
Or I guess even Crucible, right?
No, there's always people. Crucible, there's always people trying to get it in, dude. Crucible,
yeah, there's always people in Crucible and
freaking
Trials of Osiris. They're always trying to kill you.
They're always trying to murder each other. It's really more for like this kind of PvE stuff where people are like, I did what I had to do. I'm out of there, We did play another thing, Dalan. We did go back. We already kind of talked about it last week, but really quickly, I think even like after the episode went up, we did this, right? But we went back to the Dark Chronicles Little Hope, and we said we're gonna kill everyone Cause last time, I don't know if on the podcast we put it on wax that we saved everyone, or it was like after the podcast aired last week.
Yeah, we did. We talked about that.
We saved everyone very quickly. We were like, okay, now it's time to kill everyone, and it does take a couple little steps to get there. But this one wasn't too hard, right? It was really primarily like a sort of towards the end. It was like, make sure we accuse a little girl of murder. Let's make sure we do that. And
that's exactly what we did.
That's what we did, and everyone got murdered back to back, dude. Those were gruesome kills to see back to back, like, and then it kind of zooms into the characters, and it plays off of their personal traits or the characteristics, and it's like deceitful, indecisive,
it's saying that it's locked. It's locked at that point.
Yeah, so we definitely have fun with that. You see all those back-to-back little fatalities or whatever.
Hey, like, the whole time while Carlos was watching this, he was like, "Why didn't they just make this the original ending? This ending was better."
Dude, watching all these people get murdered by their fears, apparently, because your fears are killing you in this game. Manifestations of your fear are killing you in this
That's
game.
why they're adding that popcorn mode to the new one, dude, so you could see all the endings you want to see.
Super massive, man. And you know what? I'm a little. You haven't really gotten too into these, right, Luis? Because you do like the Heavy Rains and the Detroit. It's basically, that's what these games are. They're kind of in that vein. But they're spooky.
Yeah, they're fine. I kind of missed them. The one that I did try to get into was years after the first one came out. Until Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And the controls on that one did not age well at all. Like, I didn't get more than an hour into the game, and I was just like, I don't see myself finishing this game with these janky controls. So
they were very janky. Just trying to move the flashlight around was janky.
But I mean, like, I would have to go back, right? I kind of just remember having fun with it, but I was trophy hunting, and those pretty fun trophy hunting in those games. Even though you have to backtrack. A couple hours at a time.
Just play Detroit Become Human.
But I was thinking, I was like, I gotta go back and see, how it holds up, because from what I remember, it controlled fine. But I mean, Detroit and Heavy Rain and all those.
He said no.
Detroit and Heavy Rain and all those they're not necessarily the best controlling games either.
Heavy Rain was very limited in the way that it played to begin with, so its jankiness was harder to really see right off the bat because really the whole game was janky. You had to deal with that from beginning to end.
Yeah, because
there wasn't a lot going on. It's not like you were running away from monsters or nothing like that in Heavy Rain. So it was very small nuanced things.
Because I know both developers still do the whole, like, when you're moving, you're like, it seems like you start at the head and you're dragging the rest of your body, right? Like, they kind of do the. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know.
Moves and then the body moves.
I don't know if that makes sense, but they all do the same thing, right? But yeah, definitely. Hey, hopefully you're convinced with the Quarry, and hopefully they cleaned up some of the movements. Because
day 14.
There you go. And when they update,
I don't know anything about the Quarry. I gotta look up a trailer.
Don't. Why, Dalan? Why are you gonna look anything up? I don't know anything about
snaps. All right, fine. Are you gonna play House of Ashes with me?
Yeah, we'll get down. Of course. All right. What are we doing here? But anyways, I hope that convinces Luis on that. The next thing. Oh, anything else on Little Hope, Dalan? Before we move on, besides the fact that we murdered everyone.
No, I'm just gonna eat this cookie.
Okay. Next thing I did play, and this is kind of more. I don't know.
I saw Luis's face after.
What did I do?
Dalan, I mean,
you were just like, what?
Dalan, we're doing a show here, man.
I know. I'm gonna eat this cookie.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but this last week, Ray Leota did pass away, 67 years old. That's kind of young, I believe. If you guys don't know him, he's he was in Goodfellas. Recently, Many Saints of Newark, which was the Sopranos prequel. It was pretty good, actually, if you guys haven't seen that. And he was also a narc. But that actually reminded me of a little known game called GTA Vice City. He was Tommy Vercetti. Tommy Vercetti, they'll never let him out. They'll never let him, of course. So I decided, I was like, I'm gonna go back to this little quote-unquote remastered definitive edition of GTA Vice City. And like I said, this is why I want you guys to stop logging into GTA 5, because we need a campaign. We need a new campaign, GTA 6 campaign, because I love the campaign so much. But I did go back, and I will concede this, Luis, as far as the remasters and the quote-unquote definitive edition is concerned, is not that bad. I don't. It's. I don't know what it is. Like, the only thing I can think of was that it's it's clean. It's a cleaned up version of the original, right? And I don't see it's as wacky as it ever was. So I think there's definitely a lot of people picking it apart. Or I don't know if a lot of the stuff that we've seen is from San Andreas. So I haven't really dug too deep into San Andreas. But this Vice City, the only thing I can think of from playing it, the original one, is the word that came to mind was my mind was it's quaint. It's just like, you know, you think of GTA 6 or 5 with how like advanced it is and just how beautiful it is, and especially with what you were just talking about, like for the next gen updates and all that, right? It's just quaint. Going back to Vice City, a game from 2002, like the early ages of open worlds, it's like, oh, it's so small. It can fit in my pocket. Yeah. It can fit in my pocket. How small this Vice City is. So I don't know, some of it I think detracts a little bit from it, because my memories of Vice City were like, this is an incredible game, it's huge world, blah blah blah, but it's not so much anymore, you know, and maybe because we're so far removed from it, right? And the other thing is, it might be a little too clean. I think I remember Vice City with the CRT, you know, the boob tube and stuff, and now it just looks clean, so it kind of removes some of that grinding or some of that, I don't know, like griminess from it. Yeah, so I think that kind of added.
It removed its Vaseline.
Yeah, and it added a little bit to it. Now it's just clean. It runs pretty smooth for the most part. I don't understand why there's a fidelity in a performance mode, which I still switch back and forth from. I go fidelity because I want the only thing I notice is a lot of like good like lighting. There's a lot of lighting. There's a lot of reflections everywhere. So I think that's pretty much the only thing that it does. But it does run slower for whatever reason. I'm like, I mean, this is a game for 2002, man. Why can't I just have the best of all the worlds? It runs at 60 frames and it still has all this beautiful lighting, right? So I think maybe that's kind of a pushback on people. The other thing is, of course, it's still missing at the very beginning. You have Billie Jean. It's not there, right? So there's a whole bunch of other songs that are just missing. I still miss that Billie Jean. It's like the first thing as soon as you get in a car, start driving, and Billie Jean comes on from Michael Jackson. But other than that, I'm actually having some fun with it, man. I forgot how grindy it is. Like 3 or 4 hours in, you start like running out of missions, and you're like, wait, why am I running out of missions? Like, oh, it's because you have to buy properties. You have to buy all these properties, and all these assets have like 3 or 4 missions attached to them. And I was thinking, what the hell did I do? Little like 14, 15-year-old Carlos, what was I doing? It's like, I'm pretty sure I was plugging in cheat codes to like, you know, like have enough money to buy all these assets, because they're kind of a little pricey, dude. Like, I'm like, damn, the grind must have been real. But at some point you buy all these assets and you complete the missions and you just generate money that way. I did want to ask you, Luis, because, you know, I haven't played GTA 5 in a little while. GTA 5 doesn't do that, right? You have all the missions available. Well, it's the campaign, but do you have assets? You know, you generate money from assets that you buy and stuff like that. They're still doing that.
Yeah. You could buy like well, in the story mode, if we're talking specifically story. Yeah, there was you could buy some different businesses if you're for each different character.
Yeah.
So I think like with Michael, you could buy a movie theater or a theater. Franklin, you could buy like a weed shop, and then I think, amongst other things, the ones that I remember though, and then for the other character, you could buy like a taxi company. So those are companies you could like make money off of. But I don't think you were like, they weren't necessary to advance.
Yeah, and it's really weird in Vice City. Like, it doesn't tell you anything either, man. It's just like, I have no missions left. You have nothing. I'm like, okay, what do I do now? It's like, okay, I guess I gotta buy assets, and then like when you buy the assets, you get more missions. So it's definitely quaint, but I am still having some fun with it. I don't know if I'm platinum. I don't know how frustrated I get, because some of the physics on this is weird. You know, like some of it, like the cops can pull you out of the car and you get busted right away. Your car can just flip over willy nilly. The van physics are just crazy. Like, it just flips.
And it would explode.
Yeah, and
it
just
upside down.
Yeah, immediately just explodes, dude. So a lot of it is wacky. Some of the missions can be kind of frustrating, because even though like they're like, oh, you want to start at the checkpoint, it's like, the checkpoint is the beginning of the mission. There is no checkpoint. Why are you telling me to go back to a checkpoint where it doesn't exist, right? So, but I'm still having fun with it, and I still, like I said, I kind of went back to it because of Ray Leota. I was like, you know what, let me hear this guy's performance in it. I think the performances are all pretty good too, man. They had a lot of big time people in it. They had Burt Reynolds, they had Ray Liotta, they had like they have a bunch of different people that I think maybe even Sean Penn is in it. Like, so there's like a whole bunch of like actors that they kind of wrapped into this. What's Machete? What's the guy? Machete guy? He's in it too.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of good voices in it. Having fun.
Trejo.
I'm definitely having fun, kind of reliving some of this. Tommy Vercetti, they'll never let him out. But it's weird going back like years later. I'm like, what the hell? I was grinding away, huh? At some point, I think I just put the cheat codes. The only reason I don't put the cheat codes in now is because of trophies. It disables the trophies, so that's why I don't put the cheat codes in. But anyways, that's it for me. No zinger this time, unless you guys want to throw any shout outs out there or anything like that. Carlos Macias, Salient Points.
Crew's gonna be mad. No zinger.
Damn, yeah, Crew's gonna be mad. That's all he's listening for is the zinger.
he does say he kind of skips towards the end. My bad, Prue. We got you next time, man, on the singer situation. I'm Carlos Macias, Master of Ceremonies, Salient Points number 70. Go to YouTube, wegotcoms.com. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you throw in a comment, we'll throw you in on the show as well. Dalan Kirkwood from Up in the Mountains, thank you for joining us, sir.
Hey, man, what year is it?
Damn, 2021 possibly. Luis Mendez on the Wheels of Steel. Thank you again, sir.
You already know.
All right. See you guys later.